Hello, and this is the UFC 253 Adesanya vs. Costa preview show, brought to you by Soul himself, and it's for Saturday the September 26th, 2020, the worst year in humanity. Yes, and it's in Abu Dhabi, Yas Island. That's right, Abu Dhabi, UFC Fight Island. That's correct. And this is the preview show, as I've said many times now. Now I know what you're wondering. Why is my lighting very. Anyway, only kidding. Okay, so let's get straight into the fights. Now, on this whole card, I'm sure the fights on the card are gonna be amazing. I'm sure the card is gonna have a lots and lots of finishes and is gonna be a lot of back and forth, etc. But are there any particular fights more than the co-main event and the main event which are actually rather interesting? Am I really bothered about it? I mean, in the previous week it was pretty interesting because you had three co main events as well. They had one Khamzat Makhmayev as well against Gerald Meerschaert. That was a co main event. In this one, you only have a co main event. So besides the co main event, do we have anything interesting which is worth noting? No, unfortunately. But you know what? Let's get on with the matches. And the main event of the evening is obviously Israel Adesanya versus Paulo Costa. Now, this is a very simple match. It's Bull versus, what's the word? Matador. Yes, Bull versus Matador. Yeah, that's what it is. It's Bull versus Matador. Bull being Paulo Costa. Borrachinha versus Israel Adesanya, who is going to counter punch him, counter strike him from distance. He said he's ready for a fast start. So he's ready for Paulo Costa to come out strong and finish it. And Paulo Costa is looking to finish it. Apparently, I heard the interview of his manager, Walid Ismail, and Walid was saying he wants to finish him in the first round. He wants to finish him in the first round. And you know what? Paula can definitely do this. The only thing is how. How? I will say this about Israel Adesanya. You can definitely land some shots on him. There is no doubt about it. I mean, the game plan which was working for, I think it was kind of working for Robert Whittaker when he was fighting him. Initially, I mean, he started off, I'm sure he caught a few shots coming in, but his stance was basically to front kick him on his leg and then come in close and try to hit him with some big shots. That's what it was. And he did land it initially, but then if you watch later on in the same round, what happened is he stopped doing the front leg kick, and that's where he went wrong. And that's when he fell in love with his boxing and then got caught with, the reach advantage, and it's all over. It's all over, man. And I think Paulo Costa, he's been training with the right people, but this is a huge but. Is his game plan going to be correct? Because if his game plan is going to be the exact same like it's always been, Israel's going to eat him up, man. Israel knows what it's going to be. He said he's ready for a fast start, so he knows he's going to come in. Strikes, bang, 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 move, rotate, bang, 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 rotate. Just keep on doing that. And apparently he's just going to keep on doing that continuously. He's not going to mentally break, and he's just going to continue to do that. Look at how skinny he is actually lately. If you just check him out. Maybe it's because he shaved his hair off. I don't know. But he looks very skinny. But I think the reason is he's prepping himself to dance around the ring, and Paulo Costa is ready for that. So what is he ready to do now? How would he actually stop someone running? And how do you do that? You do what Dominic Cruz, what not? You do what Henry Cejudo did against Dominic Cruz, which is chop the legs off, son. Chop the legs off. That's exactly what you do. Chop the legs off. And once you've chopped the legs off, you start to go for the body and the head, and that's exactly what you do. And I think if he does that, he will actually do that. Now, Cejudo apparently was there in his training camp a little bit, but in his videos, I haven't seen much of him at all, really. So, will he implement that game plan? I don't know. I think the main thing is what you need to realize. In my opinion, Paulo Costa's best way to victory is the front leg, because Israel Adesanya's wide stance, his legs are coming really far out, and you've got to stop that. No, Israel is, I forgot if he's Southpaw or Orthodox. He's normally, I think he's Orthodox, isn't he? And same with Paolo, so it's going to be interesting. I don't know what it is. But you know what? I think in general, I have to give the edge to Israel simply because the shots that he took against Kelvin Gastelum clearly showed that he's got heart, man. He took some big, heavy shots. They were not normal shots. I mean, he knocked Michael Bisping out, but Michael Bisping, unfortunately, he was towards that latter end of his career, and he never really trained properly for the fight. Let's be honest, he had just got knocked out, choked out by GSP. But I think Israel's got a good chin. I really do. Now, Paulo Costa, he's not a one punch knockout artist. He's a TKO artist. So when it comes to that, I think that's where the problem lies. If you're not going to catch Israel clean, you're not going to win by points. You're not going to win by points. And I think my point is the game plan which I'm inferring onto if he actually follows my game plan, what I'm saying would be most appropriate. I think he could win. But if he doesn't do that, I think there are too many disadvantages that he needs to get through. Number one is the reach disadvantage. Number two, cardio. You're a 5 round fight. You're in a 5 round fight. You're gonna have to pace yourself. Number three, knocking him out. You're not gonna knock him out with one shot. You're gonna have to land a few blows. Like a flurry of things. And I think that's the thing. I don't think the one punch power is there for Paulo Costa. He hasn't got it. He hasn't. I don't think so. Definitely not. Just watch it. Just watch some of his fights. The guys who he's finished it, they're like flurries. They basically just cave under the pressure because obviously it's too much to take, which is fair enough. I don't blame the other fighters to do that. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Israel Adesanya. I think he's worked his opponent out cleanly, and he said, he's not gonna mentally break like what's his name, Uriah Hall did. Uriah Hall didn't use foot movement, and that was a problem. And I think with Israel, he's going to use his foot movement, but that's where Paulo Costa needs to work on. Is he going to do that? Is he? That would be. I don't know. I don't think he will. I don't think he will. I think he'll do it a bit, and then he will forget. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, the next match, co-main event of the evening, is Dominic Reyes versus Jan Blachowicz. Now, unfortunately, because Dominic Reyes wasn't announced as a new champion, the title which he's going to, the vacated title, which he should be, which he should have really, because I clearly thought he won the fight. He won the first 3 rounds, and the last 2 he just kind of, he was tired. So he was moving majority of the fight. I do think John Blachowicz, I can't pronounce his name, man. John Blachowicz, which is he's got beaten before. He's got beat before. He got knocked out by the guy who you just beat in the last fight. Who's gone to Bellator? I can't remember his name. Um, but yeah, he not obviously he knocked him out in the last fight, and he's technically savvy now. He's very technically aware of what to do, etc. So I think this is a tough fight for Dominic Reyes. I don't think it's clear cut as it is. I think Dominic Reyes is definitely going to be. It's sad for Dominic Reyes because he's got the cloud of John Jones on his head. Um, as long as he doesn't mention John Jones, which he hasn't so far, and which is good, he'll be all right. I think he definitely won that fight. Um, yeah, I mean, in height, he's got a height advantage. Well, the height advantage is not going to make a difference really. His reach advantage, he's got a reach advantage. Leg reach advantage as well. Jan Blachowicz has got a reach advantage. Um, there you go. KO. 58%. Pretty damn good. Submissions. And he's a finisher as well. Significant strikes. He lands more. Absorbs. That's the thing. I think his boxing is a lot better than it was Jan Blachowicz. His last fight, he hit his opponent right on the button. That's what it was. And he's got a good defense, 54%. It's going to be a good match. The problem is the level is so high. Well, he's got a grappling advantage. Well, I don't think so personally. I don't know what Dominic Reyes is going to try to do. He clearly doesn't go for takedowns. But then again, I've got to go Dominic Reyes simply on his stats. They're too. But this is one hell of a dangerous fight. This is one hell of a dangerous fight. If he lands clean, Jan Blachowicz, he can finish him. And that's what I'm worried about on this one. But brother, man, I'm gonna have to go with Dominic Reyes simply because he's just a better fighter. As far as the game plan is concerned, I think Jan Blachowicz can win it because he's definitely evolved since his losses. Definitely evolved, and that's what's kind of scary in a way. Yeah. So the next fight is Brandon Royval versus Kai Kara France. Now, Brandon Royval, his wins have been prominent, really. The last win he beat Timothy Elliott. Now Timothy Elliott is one hell of a fighter in my opinion. With his herky jerky style, in my opinion, he was winning the fight against Demetrius Johnson. I think the problem was with him is his weight cut was pretty awful. Timothy Elliott against Demetrius Johnson, but he was winning the fight, and towards the latter round, he kind of burnt himself out. He could have won the fight. Check the fight out if you ever want to watch that fight. I think it was in a smaller cage, but it doesn't make a difference because, well, Demetrius Johnson, he's a small guy anyway. So Timothy Elliott, yeah, he beat him by submission. He's beaten Nate Williams by a submission armbar and Joby Sanchez by submission. The loss that he's had is by decision. So, I've got more hope in him than I have, in terms of his opposition, which is Brandon, Kai Kara France. Now, his last victory was against Tyson Nam. Sure, he's You know, his loss was against Brandon Moreno, but the wins that he's had is predominantly been decisions, and they've not been that impressive in my opinion. But it's a close fight. I'm gonna give it to Brandon Royval, really, simply because Timothy Elliott, he is on another level in my opinion. Now, the next fight is Ketlin Vieira versus Sijara Eubanks. Now, Ketlin Vieira, she has come off a KO loss. So this is going to be a bit of a weird one, unfortunately, against Irene Aldana. I mean, prior to that, she had a great record. Katka Zingano, Sarah McMahon, Ashley Evans Smith. She's got a split decision win against Kat Zingano. Kat Zingano, she's no slouch, that's for sure. And she subbed Sarah McMahon, so that's pretty good. But I think UFC are investing more in Sijara Eubanks. I don't know why. I mean, Sijara Eubanks has lost to Betch Correa. And Betch Correa, to be honest, she's not. And this is no disrespect to Betch Correa. I'm just saying in terms of her level and her ability, she's not as good as she thinks she is. Yeah, she isn't. And she lost to Aspen Ladd. I mean, sure, okay, it was a decision loss. I guess that's why this fight could go either way. But I think the main thing is what type of fighter is Ketlin Vieira gonna be? Is she gonna be gun shy because she's had the KO loss? We'll see. I'm gonna go with Ketlin Vieira on this one simply because I just feel as though she's had a better. Yeah, I just feel as though she's had better competition prior. Now, Hakeem Dawodu versus Zubaira Tukhugov. Zubaira Tukhugov. Now, Zubaira, he's not fought for a while. Every time he fights, it's like such a long time. Zubaira, sure, okay, he fought in February 2020, but prior to that was September 2029, and prior to that was in 2016. So what's he been doing, and the win that he previous to that was Philippe Novet, and this is Philippe Novet in 2015. This is 5 years ago. So what has he been doing? I know this is in Abu Dhabi, so will it be different for him? I don't know. I don't know. I don't think so. I think Zubaira is. Sure, he knocked out Kevin Aguilar. That's a good performance. But prior to that, he's not been very, very active. Maybe we've got a new version of Zubaira now. Maybe. We will see. I don't think so. I think Hakeem Dawodu is going to win because he faced a guy called Julio Arce. Julio Arce. I'm only joking there, guys. Come on. I'm sure everybody's heard that joke before. So yeah, Julio Arce, he faced him in 2019, November, and the loss that he's had obviously was a submission guillotine against Danny Henry. I have got to give him more of a rub on this one. It's still going to be an interesting fight because maybe Zubaira has turned a leaf, but I don't think so. I think Hakeem's going to win this without a doubt. Now, what else fights are going to be interesting to watch on the card? I mean, I'm sure all of the fights are going to be pretty interesting. But the only ones in which I'm really interested is Diego Sanchez versus Jake Matthews. Simply because I think this is a closing end of Diego Sanchez's career. It's kind of sad, but at the same time, it's not sad in a bad way because he's not, he's not losing like BJ Penn or anything like that, where they become a shell of themselves. They're still competing at the high level, which is amazing. Um, so on that reason, I have gotta give Diego Sanchez this particular victory. I think Jake Matthews has, well, his record kind of says it for himself. Is similar to Diego Sanchez, but I think the experience is going to count on this one occasion. I really do. I think the experience is definitely going to count. I think Diego is going to win it, and I think it's going to be a decision. Um, let's see if he employs that. Keep distance. Keep distance. You know what? I don't think that was a crazy tactic. I think what it was he was trying to measure the because he's a fancy fighter, Michel Pereira. When he was fighting him and he was doing that thing, I think it was basically if his hands are out that distant, then he's basically trying to you know measure the distance of attack. So if he manages to touch his hand, he's going to get hit by one of his strikes. That's what he was trying to do. From my opinion, I could be completely wrong. It could be something to like funkiness to kind of like, oh yeah, you're gonna do some funky stuff. I'm gonna do some funky stuff. I mean, he did try some funky stuff. Remember, he did that somersault in the fight against Michel Pereira. You could check that out. It's actually funny. Michel Pereira got himself DQ'd in that fight. It's funny. Oh, guys, you gotta watch that. Seriously, that made my day. Michel Pereira is a great fighter, though. He's calmed himself down. I don't know what tea he's been drinking, but he's calmed himself down. That is for sure. Hopefully he can become a champion as well, Michel Pereira. But anyway, um, yeah. Besides that, there is nothing. There are no other fights out there for me which look interesting. So yeah, I can't wait for the main events of the evening. It's going to be interesting. All the other fights, sure, they're going to be interesting. Without a doubt, it's going to be interesting. But they're not alluding to anything. You know what I mean? They're not. It's not alluding to a big title shot. It's not like Kamaev. Shimaev, where he's basically just, what, I'm gonna finish you, and that's all I know. That's all I know is finish him. That guy is a good fighter, man. He's scary, and yeah, I can't wait for more fights for that. Now, speaking on Hamza, now he's even said, he's even obviously Israel Adesanya has basically, talked some trash back to him, and he's saying, when I get in your way, so to speak, then I'm going to take the title off you. That's what he's saying, which is 100% possible, totally possible, for Hamza, without a doubt. And yeah, that will be an interesting fight to see, won't it? And then we have, he's calling out Stephen Thompson now. He wants to fight Stephen Thompson now. No, don't give him Stephen Thompson. One fight that doesn't happen. I don't want to see Stephen Thompson get murdered by him. Stephen Thompson's an NMF champion, man. You know what I mean? Why would you want the nicest guy in the room to get murdered? You want to see someone who's a cocky moron. You know what I mean? So who talks a lot of trash like, yeah, man, I can beat all these guys. They're all crap, man. They all crap. yeah, I want to see some what that guy wasted. You know what I mean? Like because Hamza doesn't mess around. You want to see that guy wasted. You don't want to see. Oh yeah, he's a good fighter. He's a good fighter. I don't want to see him wasted. Even Tyron Woodley, he said, "I'm not gonna give up. I'm gonna continue to fight again." Feed him to the lion, Khamzat Kamayev, once he is better, which is gonna be a while, man. He broke his rib, man. Well, it's his own fault. He was on the defensive. He could have been on the offensive, but no, he was just going for that guillotine. I don't even know why. He knew it wasn't a proper guillotine, man. He knew it wasn't a guillotine where it's going to finish him, and he continued to do that. Anyway, that's another story. It's like when you with Tyron Woodley, it's like when you tell someone, okay, if you press that button, you'll fall on the floor, right? And everybody told him not to press that button. And you know what he does? He presses that button and he falls on the floor and then he goes, I'm not gonna give up. Well, we've already told you what to do. It's up to you now what you can do. You know what I mean? It's your choice. You're a cornerman. I've told you what to do. Oh my gosh, even now I feel annoyed at the fact that he wants to continue. I don't even know why he wants to continue. I guess the money is good. But anyway, whatever, man, whatever. Um, as far as that, I'm not so sure, really. I'm not so sure what else the news has been popping up lately in MMA. So yeah, okay, that's it for me. Please like, subscribe, and share, man. Come on. What does it? It doesn't cost you anything. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't give you any bloody problems, man. What? Just press subscribe, man. Like this video, share it. Come on, help me, man. I'm just a normal guy trying to get by. What the hell? I'm trying to build my channel. Come on, what does it bother you guys? Come on. I'm a nobody off the street trying to make it. Come on, give me a break, will ya? Come on. Anyway, that's it from me. Peace out. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. Check the fights out.